Hi everybody, happy Friday. Today is December 2nd, 2022. Sorry it's been a few days, but if you've been with me a while, you know my situation. Um yeah. So I had thought about doing Vlogmas, but I can't do enough to keep y'all entertained for that many days. It's not happening. So last night after work, I finished putting my Glorious Granny squares together into panels, then sewed the panel, well, not sewed, but you know what I mean, crocheted the panels together. And then this morning, while watching some videos, put a simple border on, and it is done. Yay! I also started the Crochet-along with Christy from Crochet Creations by Christy, and I'm behind, go figure. But my thinking was, do I go home from work and just put the panels together and then finish the first part of the Crochet-along, or just get that Glorious Granny done and then I can focus on catching up with Christy? Because today's Friday, she's already put out part 3, and I'm still on part 1. Whatever. Okay, so let's show the Glorious Granny first. So I got out my squares and I was, kind of spreading them out to figure out how I wanted to put them together so that I wouldn't put like squares together, because I don't think that looks good. And I'm like, why do I only have 11 squares? Like, I thought we did this every month in 2022. But I only had 11. So maybe we started it later in January or February. I don't remember, because frankly, you want me to remember what I did in January? That's just not happening. So I had yarns left over, so I just made a 12th square. It's fine. And the thing is the way I had it, as many skeins as I had of certain colors, I wouldn't have had to dip into the second or third skein. They would have just been unused and went back on my shelf. But because I needed the 12th, I had to dig in. So one of the colors I used was Red Heart Super Saver in Grape Fizz. And the purples are darker than what they're showing. So I had to make my 12th square with this, and I did 10 rows of whatever color I chose until I got to like October, November, and then I was pulling together scraps so I would not have to dig in and I would use up what I had. This is also, see, this is what I had of a skein, and I thought, great, that'll just go in my scrap tote, but it's fine. And then another color that I used was the Craft Smart Value in Orchard Mist Ombre. So this is a skein that I did not touch, so I can use this in a future project, and I will just pull out the solids like I have done with other projects. There's that one. And then my border around each square, no matter what color I used, was Big Twist Purple. And then I used all of my Big Twist Magenta, I think was the color. So I didn't even dip into that. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what happened with the rest of that skein in a minute. So I used a 5.5 for my Glorious Granny. So I have a purple magenta, and I did have a second one, I think. We'll find out. Then I had a Orchard Mist, and I don't keep my ball bands. I just throw them in the project bag just in case I need to go grab another one. Another Orchard Mist. Okay, so this is, you know, what I had. And I might have thrown a purple one away too, but I'll take care of those later. There's that. Put these yarns back in. I will take care of that project basket later. So this is, I did 3 across and 4 down. Yeah. And I tried doing it where I joined, instead of going under 4 loops, I did the one closest to me and the one farthest away. So this would be 3 by 4. And then I tried to alternate that magenta so that they weren't touching if I could help it. And this solid purple one is where I forgot that I was only using that around, but threw it in there. And the bottom. And I know those are kind of touching, but it was either that or the bigger pinks were touching. And again, I can't back up anymore to stand up, but this is kind of what it looks like. And in my joins, well, I did half double crochets for my border, 3 half doubles, chain 2, 3 half doubles in these corners, and then where I met up along the edges, I half double crocheted 2 together to give it more stability. So there, Glorious Granny is done. A lot of pinks and purples, but there is a slate blue that I pulled out of this variegated. So that is done. Okay, and in my fashion, I did not measure, but if anybody wanted to know, I could measure it and let you know. Whew. All right, a yearly project done. Okay, so now the Crochet-along with Christy. So in the first video, she tells you, and I'm looking at my notes because if I functioned without notes, you know, she has you make these motifs. And so for my yarns, and I have my project bag down here, so 6mm hook. This seems to be my go-to. So trying to follow her closely, my variegated, I used the Craft Smart Value 215 yards, and this is the color Rainbow. So this was the one I started with. She started with her variegated, so I did as well. This would be the center of the motifs, and you had to do 8. And it was 3 rows, I believe. I have my notes in by my chair. I just grabbed my bag. So you needed to make 8 of those. I mean, I did do all 8. I still have 4 that need to do the next step. So that was 3 rows, I think. Don't yell at me, Christy. I can't remember. And there's another one. And it is not too late to join in because, yes, she's done part 3, but this is going to go on for a while. So once you made 8 of those, then you needed to take one of your solids and go around 4 of them with one. And again, she's giving you free range. I'm trying to follow her as close as I can so that I don't get lost. And then take the other solid, well, another solid, which I chose to go around these 4. So the first solid, and this is based on my variegated, is, no, I'm thinking magenta, but no. This is Premier Basic because I held the variegated up to my shelf to find out which one was in here the best. And this is fuchsia. So I took this and went around 4 of them, following her pattern. I watch her video and I write down the directions. I keep pausing it, writing down so that when I'm sitting there, I can just whip them out. So I have 4, and these are 5-sided. So these 4 have the fuchsia. And the next 4 that I showed you, I was going to go around with this big twist light green. Because I was like, you know, pink, quote, red, green. But after watching her last video, kind of made me think I'm going to change it up. So around these 4, I'm going to go around in the teal instead. Reason being, bright fuchsia in your face, teal. Like, I think those are more in the same, not necessarily bright, but vibrant in their color, so that the motifs will have that same thinking behind it. And then this will be like around them because it's a little more muted, I should say. So this was the closest color that I had to pull out of here with these greens. Now, because then I second guessed myself and was like, is this not bright enough compared to the teal, the pink, and how bright this is? Does this just not go? Should I get a white instead? I mean, it is in, but the teal is going to be next. So, if any of you have an opinion, I'd appreciate it if you think, because I'm definitely going to put the teal around these other 4. That's not in question. My question of myself is this too dull to go with this color palette? And should I just grab, I mean, I could grab the purple because that would be brightish, vibrant with the teal and the fuchsia. Or should I grab white? Or does this kind of feel like it's going to be okay based on that I'm pulling it out of here? I don't know. If you got opinion, I'd appreciate it. I mean, you know, as long as you're nice about it. Okay, so that is that. I do have 3 of these, and I have 2 fuchsias. I think this is the only teal that I have, and this is the only one of this color. So, but again, if I follow Christy as best that I can, and she has, you know, one spot using a color that you previously used and I don't have anymore, I would just use what I have left instead of, you know, sweating about it and, you know, ordering something, because I'm not ordering anything. I did not order any Black Friday yarn deals because I don't need it. And, you know, when I look around at my yarn, I'm like antsy to start using some of the things I've previously ordered. And if I just keep ordering, I'm never going to get to the ones that I've had. So that's the Crochet-along. And, you know, you don't have to follow her either. So as long as it's like a Christmas themed pattern or something, that, and you could put pictures on her Facebook and just see what everybody else is making. Okay, so I didn't bring in the puzzle yarn blanket because I just started my 2nd out of 6 skeins. That's kind of on the back burner right now because I wanted to get the Glorious Granny done. Now that I'm doing the Christmas Kale, that'll be done by the end of the year. So, and I might start it before January, but I have the yarns. I looked back in my previous video notes and I don't see where I wrote this down, so if I'm repeating, I'm sorry. But my 2nd grandson is going to be due in February, and baby shower's tomorrow. So she told me the colors that she's doing for his nursery. So I'm going to make a blanket using 6mm hook, and I'm going to use the furls that I won on Dee's Creative Hands Live. And I'm going to use the Sober Granny pattern by Krista from the Secret Yarnery. And the yarn I'm using, I have 2 big twists in burnt orange. I have 3 in light sage. Oh, it's a little wonky, but it's fine. And then, because I believe, well, these are the colors my daughter wants. In the pattern for the Sober Granny, you know, you can change the colors how often you want. I have this Crafter's Secret that I got, I don't know when, for 74 cents in dark ivory. So this one will be used the least. Almost, you know, it's like that thin accent in between. This, the sage will be the most, and then the burnt orange. So I'm going to be starting that as well. I also have my Crochet-along that I'm doing with Nan and Trisha and now Lynette of Nan's Next Knots, doing the Drunken Granny. So I have last week and this week to add on, and then there's 2 more weeks, and then that one will be done middle December. So that'll be another whip off my hook, which, you know, you love to start the projects, and then when they take a little bit, you're like, ugh, is this done yet? But the ones that last, you know, under 6 months, those are pretty good. So my thoughts on January and the new year. So I bought the hard drive from Pamela at Pamela's Adoring Crochet. She also has Adoring Doll Clothes. I bought the one that has 18 and 14 inch doll clothes on it. Bought the 18-inch doll, so now I want to start making the clothes. I was looking on the hard drive and debating whether to start the pattern, like the elf pattern, because of Christmas, but I think I want to see how much of the stuff I already have done before I start something new. Hot flash. Then I am going to do Sophie's Universe starting in January. Carrie from the Yarny Elephant, I believe, is her channel. This kind of got started in their private group, and then everybody wants to do it. So Deirdre Ace is the author, and you can go on Amazon and buy the book. I think it's around $15, a little less. But I also typed it in on Ravelry, and you can click on and go to her website, and it has all the weeks broke down. You can click on them, save them to your computer, and print them if you don't mind, you know, printing, or work on it right from your computer without printing it, because there are video tutorials as well, and you know, if it's something you want to do. And there's a lot of people doing it, so if you have a question, you know, they're like, throw it out there. And with Carrie, they don't want to go too far ahead and leave people behind if you don't understand a part, if you can't get it from watching the video or from Deirdre from her website. But the main color alone, and I'm not sure what size this will be. I am using a 4-weight. I haven't picked all my yarns yet. That's why I'm not showing you. But the main color alone was like 3,266 yards of the 4-weight. So I need to start there. I think I have an idea of what color, but then I got to go through the rest of the colors and pick out and see what I have to match. So that's just something upcoming for next month. And I have that mosaic pattern, something cottage, can't think of it. It's paid for. And I wanted to do that as well. Maybe do a section a month again. But I don't know, because if if I have too many blankets going at once, you all know how overwhelming that is. So that would be the one thing that's a maybe. Because between finishing the blanket for my grandson and Sophie's Universe, then I have the puzzle, and I do have 2 blankets going with granny squares that have turned into UFOs. But I also have patterns and projects bagged to do like Ammies with like dogs and bears and rag dolls. So that's something else, you know. Just so many things I want to do and not enough time. All right, I'm going to go. This is 25 minutes and seconds counting. And I have to get ready for work. Get that over with. Baby shower tomorrow. Football Sunday. And then back to work on Monday. Like, ugh. All right, guys. Please like, subscribe, share if you want to. Welcome everybody back, new, returning, future. And yeah, we'll see you on the YouTube streets. Have a nice weekend. Bye.